Bonjour. So today we start on the final chapter that we will do from this book. This is chapitre 7, Modéliser une situation. So this chapter simply deals with turning statements into equations and solving them. What do we mean by that? Turning a statement into an equation. For example, I'll find a problem here which tells us what I mean. Okay, let's take this. Lara dit à Gabin, pense à un nombre, multiplie-le par 4 et ajoute 5 au résultat. Combien trouves-tu? Gabin répond, je trouve 129. Lara ajoute, ton nombre de départ était. So how to solve this? What is the number that Gabin thought of in the beginning? So this whole thing can be, this is une situation, we will turn it, we will model it into an equation, that is we convert it into an equation and then we solve it. This is what is simply meant by this. I know you know how to solve simple equations, and but I will go into a little detail about the basics and the terminology we use in this context. Okay, so the first thing is we define what is a égalité, in English, equality. So an equality represents a relationship between two quantities or two mathematical expressions asserting, which means, what does asserting mean here? Which states that the two quantities or mathematical expressions represent the same mathematical value. This is a complicated way of saying that two things are equal. Two expressions are equal. So sign of equality is the equal sign. You know that. So for example, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3 plus 0. This is an equality. The left side, this is the first expression, is equal to the second expression. Here he says, no, two quantities or two mathematical expressions. So here we take it as that. This is the left expression, that is the right expression. In French they use the word member. So membre gauche, membre droite. These are equal. We use the equal sign. That means this represents an égalité, une égalité, or an equality in English. So for example, this is another example. 6 plus 0.5 is equal to 13 over 2. This side is equal to this side. This member is equal to this member because we have put an equal sign here. Of course, I could have written 4 is equal to 5, and then that would mean that this equality is false, because 4 is not equal to 5. So if I write 4 is equal to 5, it is not an equality, that is a false equality. So proving an equality, now quite a few students get confused about this, but we will clarify here. Not many teachers go into this in detail. Proving an equality means showing that both sides of the equality have the same value. So here, for example, how would you do that? You would say, well, 6 plus 0.5 is 6.5. That is the left side, left member. 13 over 2, if I do it in my calculator in my head, will also give me 6.5. Therefore, the left side is equal to 6.5. The right side is equal to 6.5. Therefore, 6 plus 0.5 is equal to 13 over 2. Now this, I said it in such a lengthy way because that is how you have to prove an equality. So suppose I say prove that 4 minus 1 over 4 is equal to 7.5 over 2. So what do? The solution is, or the way to do it is to take each side of the equality, member of the equality, separately. I've underlined this separately, and this is very, very, very important. I think I've already told you this, but in the rest of the course, even when we start the new book, this is something you will have to follow. If you don't do it this way, when I ask you to prove that something is equal to something, I will mark it wrong. So here we say membre gauche is 4 minus 1.1 over 4. 1 over 4 we know is 0.25. So this is 4 minus 0.25. So membre gauche est égal à 3,75. De même, membre droite est égal à 7,5 sur 2 est égal à 3,75. So if you do this in the calculator or if you do it in your head, you will come to this. So we see membre gauche est égal à membre droite, les deux sont égaux à 3,75. Donc mg est égal à md, donc 4 moins 1 quart est égal à 7,5 sur 2. This is how you have to do it. Remember, see, I have done them both separately. Don't try to solve this at the same time as solving that or calculating that. That will be a wrong way to proceed. Okay. So now we come to, we have discussed, now we know what is an égalité. Now we see what is an équation. Une égalité dans laquelle figure un ou plusieurs inconnus désignés le plus souvent par des lettres. So, une équation is an equation is an equality in which there are several one or more unknowns, inconnus, which are usually written as letters. We know this as X. We most often X, the letter X of the alphabet, is used as to indicate an unknown, but you can use any other letter also. So, example, 3x plus 7 est égal à 17 moins 2x. This is an égalité because there is an equal sign here. It has un inconnu, one unknown. See, x is here, x is also here. The value of x here is the same as the value of x there. So this is an equation with one unknown. Take this one. 3x plus 6y plus 12 is equal to 73. This has x here and y, two unknowns. So this equation has deux inconnus, two unknowns, x and y. Une solution d'une équation est une valeur de l'inconnu pour laquelle l'égalité est vraie. So that means a solution of an equation is what do you put for x so that this side is equal to that side, so that the l'égalité est vraie. Est une valeur de l'inconnu pour laquelle l'égalité est vraie. In this case there are two unknowns, x and y, so here you'd be les valeurs des inconnus pour lesquelles l'égalité est vraie. Résoudre une équation, c'est trouver sa solution. So here you see this, they use plural. And why do they use plural? Because some equations have several solutions. We will see an example very, very shortly. Okay. So, égalité is just two different terms, mathematical expressions, which are linked by an equal sign. An equation is an equality which has one or more unknowns, like this here or this. Une solution d'une équation is to find out the values for which the equality is true. For example, if I put here x is equal to 0, then what will I get on the left side? 3 into 0 is 0 plus 7, so you'll get 7 this side. Here you'll get 17 minus 2 into 0, 2 into 0 is 0, so 17 minus 0 is 17. So you'll get 7 on this side and 17 on that side. This is obviously not an equality because 7 is not equal to 17. Therefore, x is equal to 0 is not a solution for this equation. Let's try another one. If we put x is equal to 1, then you'll get 3 into x is 3 into 1 is 3, 3 plus 7, 10. So, membre gauche est 10. This side will get 17 minus 2x, 17 minus 2 into 1, 2 into 1 is 2, 17 minus 2 is 15. So, this side you have 10, this side you have 15. And that means this equality is not true, and that means x doesn't have the value of 1. We'll figure out that there will be only one value of x for which this equality will be true, and that is called the solution. résoudre une équation, c'est trouver sa solution. In this particular case, there's only one solution, but some equations have more than one solution. Some equations have no solution. We'll see that in this video itself. Okay. So we take that equation and we'll try to solve it, that is résoudre cette équation pour trouver la solution, which will turn this into where the left side will equal the right side. So, but before we do that, we will just, okay, let's see that. So this is the equation, I copied here, 3x plus 7 is equal to 17 minus 2x, and I say x est égal à 2 est la solution de cette équation. So how do we know this? So let's do membre gauche, 3x plus 7, 3 fois 2 plus 7, 6 plus 7 est égal à 13. Donc, membre gauche est égal à 13 quand x est égal à 2. Faisons la même chose pour la membre droite. Ici, on a 17 moins 2x est égal à 17 moins 2 fois 2. 17 moins 4 est égal à 13. Donc, membre gauche est égal à membre droite. Donc, x est égal à 2 est une solution. Now, how did I come to this? I'm not telling you how I came to this. All I did was I told you this is the solution and we verified it and it works. On the next page, within a minute, we will see how to solve it. So an equation can have more than one solution. Remember I said that? So let's see how we can do that. How can an equation have more than one solution? So I'll give you an equation. So let's say x square minus 4 is equal to 0. This is also an equation, because even though it's 0 on the other side, what it is saying is this expression on the left is equal to that expression on the right, which just happens to be 0. But this is an equality, this is an equation. So here, what can be the value of x that will give me, that will satisfy this equality? That is, the solution is x is equal to 2. If I take 2 square minus 4, that is 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. So x solution is 2. But also solution is minus 2. Why? If you take minus 2 to the power 2, that is minus 2 into minus 2, that will give you plus 4. Plus 4 minus 4 will give you 0. So this equation, x square minus 4 is equal to 0. This equation has two solutions. X is equal to 2 and x is equal to minus 2. So we've seen now an example of an equation that has more than one solution. So let's see an equation that has has an infinite number of solutions, ou même plusieurs solutions. So let's take this 2x plus 3y is equal to 9. This is an equation with two unknowns. So if I put x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 1, you will see that this is a solution. How do I know that? Now this I haven't written it, but we'll do it in our heads. X is equal to 3, this will give 2 into 3, 6 plus 3 into 1, 3. So 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. So x is equal to 3, y is equal to 1 is one solution. This whole thing is one solution. No? Don't think that x is equal to 3 is one solution and y is equal to 1 is another solution. This combination of numbers, x is equal to 3, y is equal to 1 is one solution, une solution. But we can take another solution. Oh, this is where I did that. Sorry. MJ. This is, I did it verbally, but I have actually written it out. Membre gauche est égal à, finalement, membre droite, quand on prend x est égal à 3 et y est égal à 1. Une autre solution, x est égal à 2, y est égal à 5 sur 3. So then we take membre gauche, 2x plus 3y est égal à 2 fois 2, x est égal à 2, plus 3 fois 5 sur 3, 3 fois 5 sur 3, ça nous donne 2 fois 2 c'est 4, 3 fois 5 divisé par 3, 3 and 3 cancel out, so you get 4 plus 5, which gives us 9, which gives us the membre droite. So indeed this equation, 2x plus 3y égale à 9, has an infinite number of solutions. You can find an infinite number of combinations of x and y here I had x is equal to 3, y is equal to 1 as one solution. Now this is another solution. I'm drawing a circle around or an oval around it to indicate that this is a solution, not x is equal to 1 is one solution and y is equal to 5 over 3 another solution. Okay, now remember, I haven't taught you how to solve an equation. I'm just giving you numbers and saying that these numbers are the solutions for these equations. And finally we can come to an equation that can even have no solution, no number, no solution at all. So if I take x squared plus 1 is equal to 0, what value of x will satisfy this? If you try to find a value for x that will satisfy this equality, you will never find one. Not unless you use something called imaginary numbers. So, because the only way this equation can be, this equality can be satisfied is if x squared is equal to minus 1. Because minus 1 plus 1 will equal 0. But if x squared is equal to minus 1, you are asking me to take the square root of minus 1, and the square root of minus 1 doesn't exist. There is no number if multiplied by itself will give me minus 1. So this equation has no solution. So what can you do on an equation? Now this is very simple, you probably already know this. Operations on an equation. You can multiply, divide both sides of an equation by any number except 0. You can't divide by 0. You can't, if you multiply by 0, the equation will vanish. In fact, you'll get 0 into 0 both sides. So you can multiply, divide both sides of an equation by any number, and the equality, yeah, I should have written equality will still be valid. That means if you take an equation like this and you let's take an equation like that, and you multiply both sides, that is you multiply this side as well as this side by the same number, the equality will still be valid. If you divide this side and this side by the same number, as long as these numbers are not 0, the equality will still be valid. And similarly, you can add, subtract any number to both sides of an equation, and the again I've written equality. Let me correct that. And the equality will still be valid. So you can think of it in this way. Suppose two of you have the equal number of apples. I don't know how many apples you have, but you have an equal number of apples. So now I say, okay, I will triple the number of apples for both of you. So the first person, whatever apples he has, I triple that number. Similarly, for the other person, I do the same. But they'll still have equal number of apples. Even though I multiplied both sides by the same number, they'll still have an equal number of apples. Similarly, if you have two people with a same number of oranges, if I take away half the oranges of the first person and I take half the oranges away from the second person, both of them will still have an equal number of oranges between them, that is. So the equality or the égalité will still be valid. Similarly, if you have two persons with, so here I've done the multiplication and division, and similarly if two people have an equal number of bananas and I give the first person 3 more bananas and the second person also 3 more bananas, they will still have an equal number of bananas. And similarly, if I remove one banana from each one of them, they will still have an equal number of bananas. So these are the operations you can do in an equation. On both sides you can multiply, divide by the same number except 0. And you can add or subtract to both sides of an equation and the equality will still be valid. So all 4 operations you can do as long as you do them with the same number on both sides. So we use these principles to solve equations. So let us say I have this equation. 5x minus 4 is equal to 3x plus 10. So now we are learning how to solve an equation. You know this, but I am telling you the exact steps that you are actually following when you do solve these equations in the way you have already learned. So the first thing I do is I subtract 3x from both sides of the equation. So I do 5x minus 4, I copied it, and I subtract 3x. I write minus 3x. This side also 3x plus 10 minus 3x. So I am subtracting 3x from both sides. I have circled it in red just to indicate that this is the operation I am doing on this step. So what do I get? I'll get 5x minus 3x, that will become 2x. So the left side will become 2x minus 4. The right side will become 3x plus 10 minus 3x. So 3x minus 3x is 0. So we'll get 10. So this equation has been simplified to this just because I subtracted 3x from both sides. Basically what I have done is I moved 3x from this side to this side and changed the sign. This side it was plus, this side is minus. So I moved it. This is what you are doing when you move an equation, one term from one side of the equation to another side. Okay, so now I have 2x minus 4 is equal to 10. So now what I do is I add 4 to both sides. So I'll get 2x minus 4 plus 4 is equal to 10 plus 4. Again I have circled that in red to indicate that I have added 4 to both sides. So I'll get, now what do I get on the left? I'll get 2x minus 4 plus 4. That means I'll simply get 2x. And here I'll get 10 plus 4, that's 14. So my equation has simplified from there to this. 2x is equal to 14. So what value of x can I put to make both sides equal? The answer is 7, of course, because if I would say 2 into 7, that will give me 14, which is equal to the right side. But still, how do we do that? Now I divide both sides by, what do I divide both sides by? I divide both sides by 2. So 2x sur 2 est égal à 14 sur 2. I'm dividing both sides by 2. Again I've circled the 2 in red to indicate that, dividing both sides by 2. So 2x over 2 is equal to x, 14 over 2 is equal to 7, and this is the solution of the equation. Now I didn't write it, but to verify the solution of the equation, we can see whether if you plug this value in, plug is when you replace x with 7, what will the left side become? You'll get 5 into 7, that's 35, minus 4, that's 31. So 35 minus 4, 31 on the left side. On the right side you will get x is 7, 3x is then 3 into 7, 21 plus 10. 21 plus 10 will give us 31. So both left side is 31, right side is 31. Therefore this is the value of 7 to satisfy this equation, which makes this equality or this equation valid. Okay, so now I want you to do, this is the in video problem. I have an equation minus 23x plus 12 is equal to 63x minus 68, and I want you to do it this way, circling it in red each time you are doing an operation like this. I know you can solve this very simply, but this is what you are doing in your head. When you solve it very simply, I want you to write it out explicitly. Okay? Right, there's just one term that I have to explain to you. This is known as an equation du premier degré or first degree equation, which means that any equation that can be written as ax plus b is equal to 0 with a and b given numbers, nombre donné, où a n'est pas égal à 0, this is called a first degree equation, equation du premier degré. Similarly, a second degree equation is ax carré plus bax plus c est égal à 0, où a n'est pas égal à 0. So this is, whenever you have x square, it's a second degree equation. Where you have just x, it's a first degree equation. Okay, so this is one equation you have to solve just like this. Similarly, I'll give you two more problems. 12 is equal to 24x. This also you solve just like this, using the red or any other color. And C, 12 is equal to 24x plus 10. This also you solve like this. So these three, A, B, C, you have to solve in the way I have solved an equation here. And that is all that you have to do as in video problems. Okay, I will stop here, and the next thing is we will do problems from this chapter. Remember, solving an equation is simple. It's It's actually putting the words, converting the words or a situation into an equation. That is the tricky bit. But we will do several problems in this chapter, and then you will learn how to do them easily. Okay, I stop here.